Hello, or hello me. Not deciding, but yeah. Um, just in case if I do post this, I well, the music from Spotify isn't mine, so yeah. I think I've only done this for like one other person, and never again. But I think I'm just gonna go out there and sort of do it. I will be playing just some, dumbass video games. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I am gonna turn the volume because it's ear rapey as fuck. But um, this will be sort of a part one type of deal. I think I kind of, want to do this for quite some time. Um, I've always just been really scared. I've always put other projects. Well, I have a bunch of other projects going on right now. I draw, um, and play guitar mostly, and then of course games. Living my life right now as like a neat. It's more or less, fucking depressing. Um, so at the end of the day, I mean, I wake up and do shit, and I sleep, kind of knowing I didn't do shit for the entire day either. So yeah, I mean, you go to college and you expect shit figured out, and it's the exact opposite. And you go out and you're fucked either way, honestly. And I don't know. I feel like, especially at my age, I feel like I just feel like really fucking worthless. Um, it's hard to really find um, really closure in that sense. I've confided in so many other people, throughout my lifetime that kind of screwed me over in a way where it's like I could never really trust people again, or as much as I'd like to. But it's now getting to that point where it's sort of like, I just really don't really care really about humanity as a whole. And that's how I've sort of managed to really, go throughout life. Um, well, that and guitar and drawing, I probably won't post those uh, on this channel, or if this isn't going to a different channel, and if this is going to the art channel, I'd post it on there. But yeah, things are just completely fucked right now. Been completely fucked for the longest time, so I think this would make like a great sort of intro to, I guess, another project I kind of want to do, um, which isn't necessarily putting myself out there, but I guess at the end of the day, something to look back on too, and something to reflect on. Um, my art, I like to think that's also sort of like that in a way, but honestly, it's not even fucking good art. I mean, it's not even good music, really, and it's really shit music. If I'm being honest, I did break like 100 views, but I mean, I'm glad other people enjoy it. But the reason why I even started really was because I just didn't want to lose. I don't know. I just didn't want to lose like the stuff I create. I couldn't find any suitable sort of archive. I I'm kind of like really fucking weird in the sense that I don't use certain like Google Photos or other storage like backup things because they can be looking through that shit. And yeah, I mean, I don't have really anything to hide, but I don't know. I figured if I can just have my own little piece of the internet, I think that's good enough for me. And in a way, I kind of don't want to be, famous or, blow up in any certain type of way because I don't know. I I think I'd like to keep this to myself, and then various other people as well. If I'm being quite honest, I have like extremely bad. Um, I don't know. Like it's very hard for me to make connections. It's always has been that way. But I feel like connecting with random people over the internet. I mean, people you'll never meet. Um, it's sort of comforting in a way because I mean, you'll never meet me, and then I'll never meet the other people at the other side of the screen. And I understand too that creates the average troll or whatever, which is kind of based in its own way. I mean, I don't really despise it as well because I remember doing the same shit, and it's you know misery loves company, so I get it. And I used to do that for a good part of my teenage years, but gone over and done with that. Now that I'm an adult in my 20s now. But yeah, moving forward, I will kind of be doing these once a week. I'm gonna try to. As I said, I have more than one. You know, what's the phrase? Like pans, pots on a stove or whatever. And yeah, I'm. These are pretty much gonna be very low effort. Um, a lot of the things that I do quite are, but I think this is something that I would like to do that's very personal and something for me, honestly, because I wouldn't consider myself a very mentally ill person, but it's just the shit that I've been through. It's kind of hard to really confide in others, especially being estranged from my own family and losing someone, a friend, honestly. And that's a very generous title, at least for me, because I don't give that title very often. And yeah, I don't know. It sucks. So I think I would also like to listen to this too. Just in case I ever need something, or would just like to hear myself talk. It gets so bad. When you talk to yourself, and it's like you get caught doing it, and you look like a fucking, you know, like it meant like an insane person. You look like stupid, or you look really weird. So I think right now, and it's the worst time to be doing this, if I'm being honest, because I go right back to school in an hour, but I'm gonna make it work, and I always have. I've made guitar work, and I've made my artwork. I've kind of had to, and it's the only thing's really giving me some sort of sanity relief. Um, that and besides cigarettes, but I haven't really been partaking that for quite some time, and I've just been playing games, rotting my life away. And it's funny, some people say the neat life, it's it's great and all, you know, wagey this and that, but it's, you know, you realize we're really miserable with both, honestly. Um, and I have no hope of, you know, quote unquote escaping the matrix or doing anything. I mean, at the end of the day, I think everyone has, and well, I've sort of come to the conclusion that no matter really what you do and the effort you put in, it, regardless if it's a project or, you know, another person, it doesn't come out like you'd expect you would, you know. I mean, you think you'd be with someone for years, and then, you know, all it takes is one thing to mess it all up. But yeah, um, yeah, it just gets fucked. For lack of a better words. Um, I can tell you already now that these videos aren't going to have any real. I'm gonna try to stay on point, but like I said, I think this is more gonna be like a rant slash whatever's on my mind type of deal for the week. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some editing. I'm gonna be looking over these, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually gonna look at the comments. uh, you know, anyone who's come from my art channel, uh, or anyone who, you know, will perchance come across my art channel, come across this channel, I've actually never looked at the comments, you know, even of my own songs, and that's not because, you know, I'm not like egotistical, but I don't, like I said, I guess I'm just fucking scared, and I don't know what I'm scared of, honestly. There's even like another streamer I watch, and the streamer has like zero fucking viewers, and it's hard for me to even type in a like chat. Like the paranoia is, it's so fucking real, and I don't know why that is. I think I just have a thing about the internet. Like I've always been overly cautious and careful. Um, I just think that it's just something that I need to get over. So, and honestly, if it's other people talking about how they feel or how they feel about what I said or their problems, I'm perfectly fine with that. Even if it's like a fucking death threat or, you know, some weird shit, that's fine. I just need to look at something. Um, but for the first video, I doubt this will get any traction. Um, I will say though that I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm going to try to really make a go of this. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind, honestly. And the music helps a lot, like I said. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying that shit, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I would just like not someone to talk to, but a different perspective, and that's all. That's how I've always learned. I've been reading recently more than I usually do, or more than I ever have in my entire life, and you know, I read this book uh, by the Unabomber. It's called Ted Kaczynski, Industrial Society and Its Future. And I bought a bunch of other books that I didn't even fucking read. But I spent over what $200-300 on that shit. So it's pretty interesting, honestly. And you know, it's not. You know, I want to make this very clear, and that it's not exactly a return to anarchism, which is what a lot of people claim. I mean, he's even said it in his book that it's not what it's about, but it's really about just how much this system is really fucked up. And you know, I get it. It makes tons of sense. Um, you should really see the reactions I get. You know, when I carry that book around. Um, People will just look at me like I am like batshit utterly insane, and like for no reason at all. Like there's really like no point in like really judging not the book, but like the person behind the book. And it's so strange. Like people will not like cannot separate the two. Even after you like tell them multiple times, they will still, associate with you with that book. So for the longest time, I'm pretty sure I've been seen as a, person that goes against technology and this and that. Especially when you're explaining it to someone. I mean, you just sound, quote unquote crazy, but I think it just sounds crazy because people can't let go of it. I mean, you see me playing, a video game right now. Like people can't let go of it. Like the thought of getting rid of medicine and the wonders of science and this and that. Um, of course, the retort, if everyone when someone challenges me, which is quite a few times, honestly, was is the nuclear bomb a good invention? And of course, it's always like some like shitty reason. Like it's always like, oh well, it depends on the politicians, it depends on the leaders. But I mean, in reality, um, it's these people that built the bombs. We're allowing it to happen. You can't just say, oh well, this and that. But that's just one of the arguments that I use back against them. And it's not even like I'm diehard about anti-technology. I mean, it does have its uses, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like I don't know. I don't think having more technology is the future. I mean, you could see that with physical discs and that's getting rid of. And I remember reading that, I was completely shocked. I mean, I still remember to this day, like going into GameStop and um, like just getting screwed over for like from the amount of times I would give like a brand new $60 game and I would get $20 back. And like seeing the Black Ops 2 disc in my hands when I, like in 360 when I was a teenager, like and playing Black Ops 1, inserting the disc. I remember the Red Ring of Death. I remember like and I hated it so much when my disc would get scratched. It's insane. Like I tried cleaner and just a whole bunch of shit. So it's the end of an era, which is so fucking sad. But at the end of the day, that's more technology for you. That's just what happens. Nostalgia's gonna get erased the more and more you advance. Whether you accept that or not, it's up to you. But I mean, you're gonna get pretty shat on by people who or technophiles who agree with sort of moving on in this world. So yeah, I remember coming across someone who, I mean, his whole argument was essentially, oh well, you know, and it's pretty fucking stupid. I don't know why people even argue about this shit anyway. The book, the little tangent, across many tangents, but the book tells you like, um, there's like a how like to recruit certain people, and one of those people was like anyone who loves technology. I mean, this guy, he essentially, or back to the argument, he essentially equated that veganism is more ethnical than um, artificial intelligence. And I remember like the group was arguing about it, and I didn't say shit because at the end of the day, I don't really care about this group or care about this topic in general for me to assert myself. But this whole argument was if you eat meat, then basically you're POS, and you know you can't complain about using Chat GPT. And it's like, how does that even work? You're comparing an artificial intelligence to a way of life, a way of being. Um, Sorry, to those who are actually watching the gameplay. I'm looking for this fucking symbol. I might just look it up and try to talk at the same time, but yeah, his whole argument is, complete bullshit. So it's insane, what people do to, you know, to argue anything these days. It doesn't make sense. And I've gone to the point where if you read the book, it tries to tell you how to, organize, you know, basically decentralized cells, and, how to, get people to really follow this belief, which will be violent without a doubt. In the book, he says it doesn't necessarily have to be, but I feel like it's, I think it literally has to be. But the problem is no one's willing to do anything, violent anyway. It's it's so hard to get people to do anything these days, without literally pointing a gun at, their heads. So, you trying to, I don't know, like, you trying to, like, get someone to do something without strong enough political reform that's already behind it, it's kind of pointless. It's, like I said, it's damn near impossible. I've explained this to people every single time. They just looked at me crazy or just called me like I don't know, some insurrectionist. Or it's completely hard to do it. It's hard to find individuals like that. I mean, it's not like I was trying to find anyone like that, but if the goal, whatever, you know, I'm not gonna say faith, but the philosophy that, you believe in, when in ISAAIF, it's so hard to believe in because it's so hard to get people to do shit in the first place. It's impossible to get rid of technology unless it's, you know, unless it's already beating down their door literally with probably some fucking robot, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, now it's time." It's like, "Well, now it's too fucking late." So, yeah. It's I don't know if there's ever going to be some sort of revolution, and I know I sound like a fucking nut right now, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be a point where it's gonna be too fucking late, and yeah, like, we're not getting rid of it anytime soon. So, to all those people who, you know say that we're better off without it, and I was one of those people. At the end of the day, it's like, we're not gonna get rid of it. It's not gonna matter. So there's no fucking point. You know, arguing about it, wasting a breath about it. But yeah, I guess that was my rant on fucking technology. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be all over the place, so bear with me. I'm not gonna follow a script though. Like I said, I just wanna fucking talk. At least to myself, I guess. Yeah. Besides that, like I said, going back to my, 2 points back, I've been just trying to understand the world around me, and I think I demonstrate that through art and music, but I think through how I learn is really just by watching other people and, reading books. I know this is gonna sound probably, egotistical as hell, and it's just really not. But for quite some time, I've been called someone that's always been easy to talk to. Um, but that's really for two reasons. One reason I actually do like, and I could probably claim that to be mine, but the other reason is, just completely, I don't get it all, but kind of pointless. The first reason um, is that I like listening to other people's problems. I I wouldn't say it's like a like Schadenfreude type of thing, but you know, I think I think I genuinely do enjoy hearing like other people are going through shit too, and sometimes I'll laugh about it, and sometimes it's real serious shit. But either way, I still enjoy it. You know, I really do enjoy listening to other people's problems, and I don't know why. Honestly, it just makes me feel like I don't know, like I'm not the only one going through shit. Like I'm not alone. You know, like yeah. And you know, believe me, I hear so much shit about people's lives. It's not even you like just the last like conversation someone told me that was deep was like um fuck's sake, I'll be right back.